Do you remember maybe when you were a kid and you were up late flipping through the channels, back when flipping through channels was a thing we did, and you would join a movie in progress or toward the end of the movie. And on the bad side, you missed a lot of it, but on the upside, the end is usually where it kind of culminates and the good stuff happens right at the end. That's kind of how I feel with this video. I have been covering the release of the Atari XP cartridges ever since they first came out. I started ordering them back when they first dropped, which was early in 2022, which was actually the 50th anniversary of Atari. And all along, I've been getting them, opening them, and reviewing them for you here. You can see them up here on my shelf. They're stacked up. We're lacking two. Well, they just showed up today, and in this video, I'm going to share with you number 9, Asteroids. So stick around, we're gonna get after it right after this.
This video brought to you in part by Tommy and the Order of Cosmic Champions. This exciting and heartwarming coming-of-age Gen X novel is available now. Check the link for more info.
Hey there, welcome back to Gen X Grown Up. I'm John and I am a Gen X Grown Up. Thank you so much for the click. As I said, we are now coming into the home stretch number 9 of these Atari XP cartridges. Now, just in case you've not been going along on the ride with me or don't know what the deal is, for the 50th anniversary of Atari, they re-released a series of Atari VCS games, the ones they have licensed to release, of course, in a new special collector's package they call Atari XP. Now, each one of them comes with this special box that has a gatefold with some brand new artwork on a special cartridge. In addition to that cartridge and the re-released game, there's a patch and a pin and a reprint of the manual and an illuminated marquee, all this stuff. And because I ordered all of these so many months ago, it's been like I didn't buy them at all, because the money I spent was long ago. And so now these things come rolling in. And for those who have asked in comments, yeah, they cost 99 bucks a piece. But in the grand scheme of things, I've been waiting for a year, it's like 19 bucks a week, kind of, as they slowly roll in. So it didn't feel that bad, and because it's in the past, it really didn't feel that bad. So we're up to Asteroids now. I think most people that had a VCS had Asteroids and probably have a personal experience with it and stories they can tell about marathon plays and rolling it over. I also love Asteroids. I love this port of Asteroids, though not arcade perfect, was perfect for the VCS of what we needed in our homes at the time. So let's get this Asteroids Atari XP over to the table, open it up, and check it out. Here's our Atari XP Asteroids, and again, just as with all the previous releases 1 through 8, what they do is they are taking the original box art, they're cutting it out and placing it on this dark background with a giant Atari up here and a slightly smaller label for the game. You'll remember, like Centipede, also here I find that the box art just doesn't pop. It's so dark, and especially on this black, there's no contrast. And Centipede was like that. Now, Centipede's excuse was it originally was on that the silver box. Asteroids initially came out on kind of like a brownish orange kind of box, as I recall. So I don't know what the excuse here is. It later came out on a silver box. I just wish they'd added some, done some saturation work and brightened up the artwork on the front of these. It's a little nitpick, but at $100 a piece, I think I deserve the right to nitpick a little bit. I think. So around in the back here, you have what is, as always, kind of just a distillation of what you might have seen on the back of the box or in some advertising work. It describes the game briefly. It has a screenshot, which I'll talk about in a second, and how you control it, and the XP logo down here. Now, about this screenshot, if you have ever played Asteroids on the Atari VCS, then this ain't it. At a glance, this almost looks like a mashup of Atari's Asteroids, and there's a great homebrew called Space Rocks that does have the hollow rocks, more like the original arcade game. And so I don't know what they're trying to get at here, but why wouldn't you just use like a real screenshot of this real game? You had to do work to make it look wrong or pull from the wrong game. That bugs me a little bit. It's kind of a miss, but all right, moving on. Of course, Asteroids is number 9, as we have already said, and all those spines lined up, the artwork that it contributes is the 0 in the Atari 50 logo and the majority of the Atari emblem that is right inside of the 0. Now, we've noticed before that it has this embossed Atari logo down here on the bottom, both on this side and on the other side. However, this side is otherwise undecorated. Enough of that then. Let's get the shrink wrap off so we can open this bad boy up and see what kind of artwork they've given us on that cartridge. free from the shrink wrap, and these boxes have just a little tuck tab on the side, so I'm always wary of kind of damaging the cardboard, so I'll just lift a little bit with my tool. And then, let's see what's in store for us on the cartridge artwork front. Ooh, oh, now that's not something I had expected. So this spaceship, again, looks very much like this spaceship from a top-down view. At a glance, I'm like, that's the wrong ship, but I'm thinking of the Galaga ship. This is actually very much the shape of kind of this triangle shape of the ship. I like that. We have the asteroids floating, and not only are they here, but some of them are out of focus. Okay, we'll look at more of this in a second. We have just some boilerplate stuff here about the Atari 50. We have credit given to developers of both, I think, the original and Ed Logg, I believe, did the 2600 port. All right, let's get this open and look at all the other goodies and a closer look at this cartridge. Standard contents for an Atari XP cart. We have the cart itself, we have the stand, we have a patch with a pin, and we have a reprint of the manual. Let's start by looking at this patch. Again, a shield-shaped patch, Asteroids Deep Space Defenders. And many people pointed out that on the Centipede it said anthropods instead of arthropods. I don't know if that was intentional or a typo on there, but everything here is spelled just unambiguously correct. So at least we're good there. We have a smaller shield back here, and then we have a side view of that kind of diamond-shaped asteroid ship. So this is a pretty plain patch, honestly. Nothing pops out at me. I mean, it's well made. Of course, it's sealed on the back so it doesn't fray. It's fine. It doesn't wow me. Maybe some of the others have, but as part of the collection, nice. Here's the little pin that is included. Again, it's from the patch. It's a side view of the spaceship with just the standard Asteroids arcade logo down here. Now, again, I think these have changed to metal midway through. It was plastic, I'm pretty sure, but now it feels much heavier. Single pin back on here. This is a smaller version, about the size that Haunted House was. Yeah, nice addition. I mean, again, this Asteroids package, it's coming off the heels of awesome things like Haunted House and Centipede, so I don't mean to say that it's not good, but we've had some more amazing ones leading up to this one, certainly. And then we have this manual here, so if you have been along for this ride with me, you know that it is pretty much just a reprint of the original Asteroids manual. Unlike those early releases, the Yar's Return and Saboteur and stuff, it does not have like any historical information, interviews with anybody or anything. It's just, oh God, I love those grids. Just give me those grids on modern games, would you? This is just so pretty. It effectively is just the original, even including, attention for cartridge owners, what you need to know about playing Asteroids. Yeah, it's just, it's nice to have. It isn't, you can't not have it, but there's nothing about it that's going to bowl you over, certainly. So nice to have a reprint, a fresh reprint of an Atari manual. Okay, cartridge time, and so a little closer look here. So you can see what I didn't notice before is that not only is the cartridge this deep blue, but there's a darker blue even, a stripe across here, part of the printing. And then you have these asteroids, these rocks that are some of them in the distance, in focus, some are in the foreground, out of focus, which is a nice effect, especially as they pass in front of your ship here. Atop, a very fat font, I will say, for asteroids, like they've stretched it out and made it fatter. I wish they just kept it the standard. I guess I want to fill the space maybe. I don't know, but I'm sure it's going to look good lit up, and I'm hoping for a blue LED when we get there. On the back, we know we have this nice satin finish decal that just says Atari. And it's on this side because these are printed in reverse, so that when you plug the cartridge in, the artwork actually faces you. So I would put this up there. I think this artwork maybe in the top 3 or 4 of these XP carts so far. Pretty nice. And if this is your first time seeing one of these open, you may very well wonder, what is that rectangular brown thing in a plastic bag? Well, this is a stand for the cartridge that you build yourself. It's brown because you peel the paper off of it, and then you assemble it. And once you do, you get this cool little stand. And the stand is designed perfectly to take your cartridge. It fits perfectly in these little grooves, and you have a lovely stand for your Asteroids cartridge. Now, on a stand, that's great. What looks better? Putting this thing in an Atari and firing it up. Let's do it. Got the Junior all hooked up here, so let's plug in our Asteroids cart and power it up.
Okay, so we've gone with a white LED on this. I can't say it looks bad, and I guess blue LEDs are notoriously dark. They don't light up that much. This definitely stands out, though. It's definitely screams asteroids at me. It's really pretty up here. I'm not going to complain too much about the color of the LED. I'm still grateful that somebody figured out that you could put illuminated marquees on the top of these cartridges, and I just love how they look in general. Shall we play some asteroids? All right, I got my slick stick again as my weapon of choice for asteroids, so let's give it a shot. Yeah. Now, this was really not what you would call an accurate port from the arcade game, but it was a great game and a great interpretation of Asteroids, I always felt, in its own right. I mean, you can't say, oh, I'm playing the arcade Asteroids, and the skills you use here would not necessarily apply all that well to the arcade game, but to have Asteroids at home, it foot the bill pretty doggone well. A little hyperspace there to save my butt. So were you always a sit in the middle and just kind of turn back and forth and shoot Asteroids player? Or were you like me? Did you just fly around and see how much chaos you could get into? I would only sit in the middle and go back and forth if I was going for a high score or something. But I found it so much more fun to just play with the physics and fly around and hyperspace at the last possible moment and see if you roll the dice and see if you survive like that. I just found that to be infinitely fun. Now there's other options, of course. You have shields, I think, and reverse, and different kinds of specials when you pull back, or you can have no special. That's what that whole grid was about. I was always impressed there was surprisingly little flickering for as many things that are moving. I think I learned that maybe like the asteroids are actually background elements they're floating around or something. Anyway, whoa, almost ran right into that. Finish it off. All right, we'll do one more rack. I mean, we know what we have here. We have the authentic, not hollow asteroids like the picture on the box, version of Atari VCS Asteroids, and it's just what it ought to be. I'm almost there. Finish it off. Woo! Extra ship. And there we go. Awesome, awesome Atari Asteroids. We are so close to having this complete series now with number 9 Asteroids. So let's get it packed up for shelf display. We're going to throw the manual in there, the patch, the pin, that cool little stand, and of course, the beautiful cartridge itself. Seal it all up. Head over to the studio shelf, and there it is. 1 through 9, now including Asteroids. And there they are, all lined up, 1 through 10. We're lacking just 1. Now here's the deal. Number 10 arrived today in the same box with number 9, so I have it here ready to do, and I will get that produced and out for you early next week. In the meantime, I'm going to throw a link to the full playlist of all my XP coverage here. As soon as that number 10 is ready, link is going right there. I certainly hope you found something to enjoy in this video, and I can't wait to talk to you again for number 10 next time. Bye-bye.